So yeah, this tier list was requested by Dragon, who Dragon Flame, who might be there lurking. This is all the masks in Majora's Mask. This is something I will be much more knowledgeable with because Majora's Mask is my favorite game of all time. I've played it so many times that I can't give you a number of times at this point. It's practically an annual playthrough on stream now in some format. Like, I know every use of all of these masks. Just completely. So, let's get into it. But just for a heads up, how I will be tiering these is not purely based off of usefulness, because otherwise a lot of them will do very poorly because a lot of them only have a couple of uses in the game. But it will be partly usefulness, partly... Oh god, the creep music. It'll be partly my, how I aesthetically like them. And partly how I like what they do. Like, it'll be a little blend of everything. How I feel they fit into the world, how they're obtained. The high-res version is more unpleasant to look at than the originals and settling. The high-res version of what? Of the masks? Oh yeah, and so yeah, I'm trying to read more, but as I'm getting further into work, I'm losing time again. I don't have much free time anymore again. Well, I'm sorry if these are a little pleasant to look at. This is the tier list I found that had all the masks. But yeah, we're starting with the All Night Mask. I believe these are in alphabetical order. Yeah, they're in alphabetical order. So we'll just do it that way. The All Night Mask, I can give a quick recap of everything. The All Night Mask you get buying it from the Curiosity Shop on the third night when, specifically when you deter Saken from stealing the bomb bags on the first night. As long as you don't shoot him with an arrow and completely kill him in that, because then there is none. It's wild that's not even a glitch. That's a thing you can just do. These are from the 3DS Majora's Mask, aren't they? They might be. They might be. This is just what I could find. But what the All Night Mask, what it does is it lets you stay up through the old woman's stories. She has 2 stories without falling asleep. Normally you'd fall asleep during them and you can't get the reward then for listening to them. But if you use them, you can hear the whole story and then get a heart piece. There's 2 stories. One takes 2 hours of your time. One takes until morning. Design of All Night's Mask, I mean, it's kind of creepy. It's also kind of bland, I feel. So I'm not a big fan of how it looks. I think they could have made something that looks cooler, or even something that looks creepier. I think it just looks weird. The use also doesn't give it many points. It's just used to get 2 heart pieces. But there is the upside that you get some good lore out of the mask. And so normally I would have given this like a C or a D. I'm giving this a B solely on the fact that you get some good lore. And I appreciate that. You get candy. That's the art piece. The art piece is candy. I hope I didn't place it too high. I might not have a lot of low scoring things. We'll see. Bomb Mask is next. Bomb Mask you get for saving the old woman, so the bomb bags don't get stolen. She just outright gives it to you. The Bomb Mask, what it does is with the press of a button, you yourself can be a bomb and explode destroying anything destructible by bombs that's near you, like doing all the effects of essentially holding a bomb and letting it explode in your hands, including hurting yourself. This may seem awful, but I love the bomb mask. I mean, it's not that hard to get your health back, and considering every time you restart the time loop, you lose all your consumable items, which include the bombs you have. And so this is a very convenient way to essentially have bombs without having to find bombs. It's especially useful in a randomizer. You can just ignore the damage entirely. Yeah, especially useful in a randomizer, but I also like that it doesn't really have a face. It kind of has that skull design on it, but it doesn't really have a face. It's so weird looking. I love it. Bomb mask is an S tier mask for me. Yeah, it's honestly one of the best non-transformation masks in the game. Both in use, in design, just everything about it is great. Now the Bremen's mask, I believe it's pronounced, which is some sort of like eagle thing. You get it from listening to the Music Box Man at night on, I think, either the first or second day, as he tells you a little story about animals and like a little myth. The story's not anything to really write home about, but what the mask does is it lets you play a special song on your ocarina while you march around, which does not do much except for at the chicken farm or whatever in Romani Ranch or by Romani Ranch. At which, if you play it there, all the baby chicks will follow you as you march past them, and once they're all in the line following you, they'll turn into adult chickens, and you'll get a heart piece. It does not give a much. You just get a heart piece out of this mask. It does have a little unique thing it does, which is kind of cool. And I want to rate it higher just because I like the marching thing. But honestly, I can't rate it higher than the All Night mask. It's a C tier mask. I wish that its marching did some more stuff. Like if you could use it, lore appearance and use of lore mismatched. I don't know. Like the lore was a whole thing about man using this, or no, the dog. The dog wore this mask, and it let him lead all the other animals. They'd all listen to him, and man got jealous and stole it from the dog. So I don't know if a masquerade circus mask would really work for the dog. What the dog would be wearing. I don't know what this works though. What is it? It's supposed to be the dog's a griffin. I do agree its appearance could be a little different. Maybe it even should just be a dog face. Did they say it was a ringleader mask? I know it was the dog was wearing it. We already have a ringleader's mask in the game. Either way, my issue isn't really the design. My issue is I wish the marching thing had another practical use. It doesn't. It's kind of a shame. It's kind of cool, but you only get a heart piece out of it, and there's not enough else to elevate it higher than a C. But I'm giving it a C because I do like the marching. Now the bunny hood. S tier. Highest S tier. The bunny hood you get from God, where is it? Why am I mind blanking? Why is it mind blanking on where you get the bunny hood? Wow. This is awkward. Bunny hood, Majora's mask. I'm gonna feel really dumb. No, the bunny hood is what you get for wearing the cuckoo stuff. You don't get a heart piece. Yeah. I'm tempted to raise the Bremen's mask because you do get the best mask in the game from that mask. Yeah, it's going up to low B. Yeah, the bunny hood you get from doing that quest. And what it does, I mean, you can use it at the post office challenge to see the timer when you have to press A directly 10 seconds after start to get a heart piece. But the bigger thing it does is let you run faster, as well as jump further. One use. Shane, they didn't think of. Yeah. If they ever did like a full remake of Majora's Mask, like not a remaster, but like a remake, like from the ground up with new content, I'd like them to flesh out a lot of the masks more. But the bunny hood, yeah, you can move. I'm not sure if it's double speed. I don't remember the exact amount of speed increase. But for a game that's centered around time management and efficiency, the bunny hood is a godsend. Plus, it's just great if you're impatient. The bunny hood is so good that Ocarina of Time randomizer modders made it so the bunny hood could function in that game too, because everybody loves moving faster. It is, I'd argue, it is better than the transformation masks in that when I use it more, I have it on. There's no mask I probably wear more percentage of my playthrough than the bunny hood. Okay, next is, I believe it's called the Captain's Mask. It's, you get it from Giants Stalfos. Do you get it from him? Yeah, for beating him in a race. Captain's Hat. Yeah, from Captain Kita is the name of the Stalfos. I wasn't really going to specify because if you have anybody that hasn't played Majora's Mask wouldn't know, but it's a giant Stalfos. You have to basically beat him in a race, and what it does is it lets you talk to Stalfos, which is necessary for a few different places. It does have multiple things it can get. Like, at least a few. But it's a fancy key. Its design is kind of... like, it doesn't even look like a mask. I actually really don't like the way it looks. I wish it really should have just been some sort of... yeah, being able to talk to the stall kids is cool. You know what? I'll put it a C. It's still... I wish it looked different. I don't like the way it looks. Talking to Stalfos is cool. I wish they had more Stalfos in the game to talk to and like just various dungeons. And you could just bypass the fight and find out something cool and maybe lore stuff. It's not horrible. It does have, actually, I'll keep it at high C, but it does have a cool thing where you can wear it in a certain mini boss fight with some with a King Stalfos dude and his two like henchmen. But and that's kind of cool. It doesn't actually do anything. It just momentarily fools him. But let's move on to the couple's mask. The couple's mask, there is a long quest line with this biggest quest line in the game. With this character's Kafai, I think his name's pronounced. Kafai, I think. And Anju, who are betrothed but Kafai got turned into a small boy, or the form of a small boy by the villain, and so been in hiding while they try, because he also had the mask stolen from him that was one half of the wedding ceremony masks that they use. And so you need to help him while Andrew's just freaked out that he's missing, and you reunite them in the end. It is a heartwarming quest. You get this right as they're in their final moments together, accepting the end of the world, because at least they get to be together. And then you wear this in front of the mayor on the next 3-day cycle to end the fighting in his office, because they're like, what about the families? What about love? The couple's mask would almost be like a perfect scoring mask for me, because the quest line to get it is so cool. But between the fact that all it unlocks is a single heart piece for a lot of work, also you need them all, the masks, for something at the end, but all it unlocks is a single heart piece, and it looks so planned. Like, it's, I think, two people kissing, but it doesn't look like a mask. I think it should have had more of a sun moon motif, because those are the masks that they use in the wedding ceremony. For that, I'll put it at an A. It gets all the way to the A because it's the reward for the best quest in the game. But it doesn't quite make it an S because its design could be improved upon a little, and it could have had a cooler reward. It's been a long time since the kid, I was so put out. Yeah. I mean, for me, the reward is mainly completing that quest, because there's nothing in the game that I'm more emotionally invested in than those two people. So that's the real reward for me. But yeah, it is near useless. I do wish it did more. We'll do the transformation mask last, so skipping the Deco mask. But we'll do the, I believe it's just the Don Caro mask. Don Caro? It's a mask that you get from Goron that you feed him. I can get more into you feed him a rock sirloin, and he gives you this. And you can use it to talk to the 5 frogs in the game to reunite them for the Frog Symphony, which gets you a heart piece. It's kind of a thing that happens a lot with this game. Mask is used to get a single heart piece. What a mark of accomplishment. That's fair, Dark Data. Kid Me was just very invested. Like, plus to me, Kid Me just liked collecting stuff. Adult me likes collecting stuff. And so, to me, it's the same as, like, getting a rare Pokemon. Now, it's not necessarily anything I'll use, but it's marking off a thing on the checklist. That was part of why I love Majora's Mask, because there's so many things to collect. But they're all unique. They're not just, like, all Skulltula tokens, like Ocarina of Time. But yeah. Still, the Don Caro, its design is fine. I feel like the quest, though, that you use it is more of a pain than anything else. You have to backtrack into 2 dungeons to beat mini-bosses that turn into frogs to use. It is... We'll get to Fierce Station Dragon. It's mostly Cafe. His dad's name is Brand of Coffee. His mom's name is Roma. Okay, thank you, Inheritance. I've never really known how to say that. Cafe. Cool. But yeah. I know I just was like, I like collecting the masks, and not having them used isn't a huge thing. But Don Caro's mask only has a heart piece you get, and it's a huge pain even after you get the mask. So honestly, it's a D mask, and it's only a D and not an F because I like the design. Dragon Inheritance is... I'm assuming Inheritance has looked it up at some point, but maybe not. Japanese brand started in 1962. Huh. So again, we're skipping transformation mask. So next is... Wow, what is the ninjas called? Garo. Garo's mask. Yeah, Garo. The Garo mask... The Garo's mask. God, that's really hard to say. Garo Master. There is a Garo Master. The Garo's mask, you get by beating the Gorman brothers in a race on Epona. They give you the Garo's mask. They use the Garo's mask to disguise themselves as bandits, but you can use it to enter the Ikano Canyon and battle Garo ninjas that give you hints. And also, if you wear it in front of a Redead, they will dance and not attack you. Honestly, I rarely ever used it for the Redead thing. In fact, half the time I forget that I could do that. I kind of would put an A rank for that, because that is a hilarious use. That's the kind of thing that I wish the Bremen's mask could do, or the Garo's mask. Something funny with an enemy that's consistent and skips you out on a fight. Or even you could do the fight and kill like Redeads, they still won't attack you. You just kill them while they're dancing, which is kind of awful, but the original looked different. Gray hood with glowing eyes. Yeah, these are the... I realize these are the 3DS ones. I'm already too far in. But yeah, Garo's mask, A tier. I think that's how a lot of those... It's also needed to progress. You don't get a heart piece anywhere out of it, but like... It's more intertwined in things than most masks, and I think that should be done more. I know I said I wasn't doing the transformation mask yet, but the Giant's mask is a weird exception. The Giant's mask is technically a transformation mask, but you can only use it in one room in the game, in a boss arena. And it makes you huge, and absolutely cheeses and destroys the boss, but you're expected to fight it that way. Majora's Mask 3D, that boss isn't really cheesed, and I don't like how they handled it. But overall, I think the Giant's Mask is actually a letdown, because the fourth boss practically necessitates the Giant's Mask, but then also is practically a joke because of the Giant's Mask. I feel we got cheated out of what could be a more interesting boss there, and 3D did not help it. 3D made it bad in a different way. It got cheated out of what could have been an interesting boss fight, and it's practically just a fancy press A to win on boss and nothing else. Who doesn't love Godzilla fights? Yeah, when the Godzilla fights aren't a curb stop. Yeah, it is the only one of the significant redesign Dark Data is the Garo's Mask. I'm putting Giant's Mask in F because I think it is probably the only mask that actively makes the game worse by existing. Otherwise, I don't think that the idea was bad. They could have had an interesting giant fight. Though it still would have been meaningless because you're just both huge, and why not have the same size? But heck, know what would have been more interesting? Make it a hard fight that you get the Giant's Mask partway through the fight. It's this giant thing you're fighting. You get it partway through, then you get huge, and it changes the fight to be a cool kaiju fight. Could have been good for overruled yet. Yeah, sure. I think, though, even with their idea of just how it functioned, they could have implemented it so much better. The Giant's Mask is just kind of... It's a fancy key to fight a boss that's barely a boss. Gibdo's Mask. Going to the Gibdo's Mask. Oh yeah, I didn't say where you get the Giant's Mask. The Giant's Mask you just get in a chest in the 4th dungeon in the Stone Tower Temple. It's like a second dungeon item. That's, again, just to fight the boss. The Gibdo Mask you get... So there is a house in Akano Canyon that has Redeads circling around it. Or not Redeads, Gibdos. And through a series of events, you get into the house. There's a little girl in there who's freaked out because her father, she locked in a closet, he's been turned into a Gibdo. And you play a song healing, you heal him, and you get the Gibdo's mask. So already we start with a really good quest to get it. That thematically really works. It looks like a Gibdo head, which is fine. That's what it should look like. And it lets you talk to Gibdos. Can you talk to Redeads with it too? Gibdos and Redeads won't attack you. You can talk to Gibdos, and then the Redeads you can't talk to, but they won't attack you. This is back to, it has multiple uses. It has a good design, a good quest. It's an A rank. The only reason it's below Garrow's mask is because Garrow makes Redeads dance, which is hilarious. Hey there, System Malfunction. Welcome. I had a football practice, the little one. Okay, I hope you enjoy. You and hope you and your kid have a good time. No worries. Thank you for your time by saying hi. See you later. Redeads dance. Dark Data. Redeads dance only with Garrow. With Gibdo mask, they just ignore you. Wait, no, it does make them dance. These both make them dance. It is better than Garrow's mask because it has a good quest. You cry every time. Inheritance. Oh yeah, on the Giant's Mask you get 5 seconds for the boss. Oh but yeah, Inheritance. It is the second most touching thing in the game. Is Pamela. Only below Cafe and Anju. And it's pretty close. It is heart-wrenching. Like, in some ways it is worse, or it is more emotional, because I'm sure especially hits people hard who have kids. It is some sort of absolute nightmare. The thought of this young child's dad turning into the Walking Dead and her having to lock him in the closet and just not... She doesn't have... As far as she knows, that's it. There's no solving this. But I'm not going to get into that. Great Fairy Mask. The Great Fairy Mask you get by bringing the Clocktown Stray Fairy to the Clocktown Great Fairy when you are not a Deku Scrub. And you get the Great Fairy Mask, which is super useful in the dungeons because its hair lights up, or floats and sparkles if there's any stray fairies in the room. And if they are not trapped within anything, they will even fly straight to you. The Great Fairy's mask is super functional. It's not hard to get, but it's a nice little reward for doing a thing. Like, again, she tells you to, like, come see her again when you're restored to your form. So it's not completely obscure how to get it. I think it's... plus, it looks hilarious having, like, with the Great Fairy mask on. It's an S tier mask. It goes back up to S tier. Not quite as useful as the other two, but it is still super useful. Yeah, it is so useful, Dark Data, especially if you don't have the locations of the stray fairies memorized and you're not following a guide. Like, just wearing it through the dungeon is great. The cafe mask, could be coffee. I want to say cafe. The cafe mask is you get it from you talk to Cafe's mom. Helps you get the Great Fairy rewards. Yeah, you don't need it to get the Great Fairy rewards, but it definitely helps. But the Cafe mask you talk to on the first day, you talk to Cafe's mom. She mistakes you for somebody looking for her son and gives you the mask. And the mask's sole purpose is you could talk to people and they will possibly give you information. Really, you just need it to talk to Anju to get her to talk to you later that night. The Cafe mask is an example of a mask that could have been an email. It could have been a conversation. If Link wasn't a mute hero, he could have just said, "Hey, I'm trying to find Cafe." It does nothing else. The only upside is it looks like James from Team Rocket. But it's a D tier mask. It's above Don Caro because you don't have to go through bullshit to get it. But it shouldn't exist. It's not in F tier because F tier is like the mask that actively I think makes the game worse. Madame Aroma, yeah, that was her name. Is the next one called the Dancer's Mask? I think it's the Dancer's Mask, is it? Get it from Komaro. Just verifying that I have the name correctly. It's Kamaro's Mask. Kamaro's Mask. So you find this really weird guy dancing on a mushroom, play song healing. So he's not a guy, he's a ghost. His ghost moves on and you get the mask that looks like his face, which is really creepy. And then you go dance for the Rosa sisters and they give you a heart piece and start calling you master. Shady, we're doing the transformation masks last. So Kamaro's mask is a mask that just gets you a heart piece. It is the Bremen's mask again. Like the Bremen's mask, you can do an interesting thing with it. In this case, a kind of cool dance, but the dance doesn't do anything. And so, first design alone, I'm putting it above the other B tier masks. But I wish it was more. I wish the dance did something. Heck, dance with the Redettes. That'd be hilarious. It just doesn't do anything. Okay, Keaton's mask. Hit Kamaro's subquest. You do it every week. You put the sister dance, the default one. Fair. So the Keaton mask is, you get it from, why is my brain slipping? There's so much information in my brain right now. You get it from, Cafe wears it. Cafe is wearing the Keaton's mask initially in the game. And by progressing his quest to a certain point, and he leaves, it gives it to the Curiosity Shop man, who gives it to you. The Keaton mask is another only used for a single heart piece. You have to use it when cutting down moving grass, which was only a couple patches in the game. And if you cut all the moving grass before it disappears, and you're wearing the Keaton mask, the Keaton shows up, which is really a kitsune, and asks you some questions from a pool of questions about the game. If you answer all the questions correctly, you get a piece of heart. It is going B tier, because it's still just gets a piece of heart. But I am putting it higher than the others, because the quiz is kind of fun. I just wish, like, maybe that each patch of grass had a different quiz to do, or each patch of moving grass, and they had a couple more. Each one had a different quiz with a different reward. I wish it had more times that you did it, because I like the concept. I like quizzes and games like that reward you for paying attention to the details in the game world. That's one thing Banjo-Kazooie series does at the end that I really love. Mask of Sense. You get this by beating the butler in a race, the Deku Butler, after you've beaten the first dungeon. The Mask of Sense, in addition to making Link hunch over and snort like a pig, can be used to find the magic mushrooms hidden in one room that you can take to, I don't know if it's Koteka Coin, one of the witches, the witch of the potion shop, and she'll give you, it'll unlock, I think, a better potion in the shop. I never bother with the mushroom. Get a different question here, Chat. Yeah, that could have been cool, Dark Data. See, some of these masks that have one use, it's easy to find a way to make them a little cooler, but they did only have a year to make this game. That is worth keeping in mind. They made this game in a year. It's amazing what they did in a year. And it's kind of sad what encouraging Crunch. But go take the potion, sister, fair. But yeah, the Mask of Sense, I get the Mask of Sense to have all the masks in the game for the reason I'll get to, but I never even bother with the mushroom, to be honest. It's another thing that they could have found more interesting ways to implement it. Had multiple things in the world that you could find with it on. Heck, it could have been essentially a Stone of Agony and Smell Secrets. I'm putting it lower than B because it doesn't even get you a heart piece. I'm putting it on C. I'm putting it on low C. But now the Mask of Truth. So the Mask of Truth lets you talk to the main thing is you can talk to gossip stones, and they will give you hints. You get it from clearing the swamp spider house, finding all the tokens in there. But yeah, the other use it has, though, is you can read the minds of dogs when you lift them up, which is very random. And so the real use for most people is the doggy racetrack. You can use it to try to deduce which dog likely will win. It's another just finds a heart piece, but it does have a little more use. In the gossip stones could be helpful for a new player. And reading the minds of dogs is frankly funny, and I wish there were more dogs in the game to read the minds of in like random areas. It's an A, I'd put it in A tier. Below the Gibdo Mask, because the Gibdo Mask's quest to get it is again heart-wrenching. You don't really need blue potion till the Gibdo well, at which point you have access to Deck, because Kirby sells them. Yeah, exactly, Dark Data, which is why I never bother with the mushrooms. Postman's Cap, or Postman's Hat. You get that for, at the end of the cafe quest. If you give the express mail to Mama to him to deliver when he's having his meltdown, because he needs to deliver the mail, but he wants to evacuate. And if he delivers the letter, because you gave it to her, then she relieves him of his duty so he can evacuate, and he gives you the hat. The hat allows you to check post boxes, which one has a heart piece, and others might have petty change. I'm not giving it the credit of the cafe quest, because I'm giving to the couples mask. And so otherwise, I mean, it's a cool little thing that you get to set him free from his job. But then what you do with it is really boring. You go over, talk to a postbox, like right in the same room, get the heart piece, and you're done. So honestly, I'd actually put it at the lowest of B, because its use can even just be in the same room you got it, and then you're done with it. You need to think you need blue potion to cure Shiro, the soldier's curse. Oh, yeah, no, you just need any potion. Well, red, I think red or blue potion. I don't think green potion does. But speaking of Shiro, the stone mask. You get it from Shiro the soldier, who's cursed to be invisible. Nobody can see him until you give him a red potion or a blue potion, at which point it returns him to visible. Oh, by the way, you also need Lens of Truth to see him. Makes him visible, and then he gives you the Stone's Mask, which, when wearing it, the guards at the pirate hideout cannot see you. I feel like there might be enemies somewhere that can't see you. I don't know. I haven't experimented with it much. You can't use it in the Deku Palace. The guards there see you. I usually get that after doing the pirates hideout. It's nice to have another easier way to do it, but it's a pain to, like, you wouldn't normally get it before then, except for in Majora's Mask 3D, which we're not really rating anything based on that. That one actually places it in a way that you'd get it naturally before then. I don't think all monsters ignore you, Dark Data. I think only certain monsters ignore you. Either way, I feel like it should have had some more use. It should have made it so lots of different NPCs would do different things, even if they were minor things that just don't get you anything, but they show off their character just because they think you're not there. I'm putting it... You don't actually need it to get anything, though. And I do like his design, though. We'll put it right here above Bremen's. Okay, the Romani mask. Is that it? Is that what it's called? Romani mask? I'm doubting myself. Yeah, Romani's mask. You get it from Cremia after doing her side quests, or the ranch side quests with the aliens and delivering her milk and everything. At the end of that, you get the Romani mask. The Romani mask lets you go into the milk bar and do any of the stuff needed in the milk bar. This is a little more than it just gives you a heart piece. There's multiple reasons to go in the milk bar. And it is kind of funny that it's just a cow, and it does have a good quest line. So I'm actually putting on A rank right below the couple's mask. Also, I kind of wish that it was used instead of Epona song for the cows, because that'd be funny if they thought your cow gave you milk. Then we have, is it called the Ringleader's Mask or the Troop Leader's Mask? Majora's Mask, Ringleader. It is Troop Leader's Mask. Okay. The Troop Leader's Mask you get for doing the Ballad of the Windfish minigame in the milk bar. It doesn't actually do anything that's super... I feel like it didn't do anything that useful. Yeah, if you wear it around the Gorman brothers and they're not rude. If you wear it during the Cremia minigame, then they won't attack you, but like you need Romani's mask to get it, meaning you've already done the minigame, so that's kind of pointless. It does have tears come out of it, but like, honestly, I think it's one of the least useful ones in the game. It makes the brothers sad. It makes the brothers sad, which is kind of one of the only upsides, and then it's useful in a minigame you already have to have completed. I'm putting it at the bottom of D tier. Okay, transformation masks. We're in the home stretch. Man, we're going to be starting the randomizer late, or not randomizer, the Pokemon Too Many Types late, but I didn't think it'd take this long. Deku Mask. The Deku Mask is okay, the transformation mask, you wear them and they turn you to a new shape. And I'm not going to go over all the abilities of each mask. But the Deku Mask is the first one you get. You get it at the start, or at the end of the first, after you've done a 3-day cycle in the game, because you've been cursed into the Deku shape. And you get the song Healing the Ocarina and heal your curse and get the Deku Mask. I mean, all the it's going to be an S tier. Like, is it going to be an S tier? Because if I'm going purely on usefulness and how interesting their quest lines are and the forms, they all are S tier. Yeah, they're going to all be S tier. I just have to decide where they are in S tier. The Deku Mask, in my opinion, is the least interesting of the transformation masks. There is an interesting little thing where the form you're taking might be that of the Deku Butler's son. I'm not going to get all into that. But I mean, obviously it's necessary for the game. I still don't think it's... No, flying is kind of cool. We'll put it right there. Deku better be S tier shady. I mean, the transformation marks are all going to be S tier. I'll just say that. The Goron mask you get from healing the soul of Darmani, a Goron who passed away trying to save his people. Very tragic. Then you just wear his body essentially, and all his loved ones aren't even aware he died. Or some of them are aware he died and are like, how do you come back to life? Very messed up. But rolling around at the speed of sound is really fun. You got places to go. You got to follow. No, I keep on that. But honestly, I'm putting it above Goron or the Bomb Mask because rolling around is fun. And it does have the best boss fight. You fight like that. Horrifying first transformation scene alone makes 3 out of that. Fair. That's true for all the transformations. Understand the point of it being kind of underpowered is meant to be a curse, so which more mechanics are added to externally? Yeah, I don't know. If it was a much longer game, it'd be cool to unlock more abilities for the forms, but I think they're fine for a game made in a year as a direct sequel to another game. The Zora Mask, I think, is even more messed up. The Zora Mask you get by healing the soul of Macau? I think it's Macau. A Zora who is trying to save his girlfriend's eggs failed and was dying. And while he's dying, you play the Song of Healing, essentially to mercy kill him, and then take his body. And nobody knows he died. Unlike Darmani, nobody saw him dying or saw his body or buried him. So you talk to them and they just think you're Macau. And it's very, very messed up. Anyways, it's not as fun as rolling around as Goron, but it's pretty cool. JP get electric guitar made out of bonefish. This is also fine. And finally, the Fierce Deity Mask. The Fierce Deity Mask is one of the coolest things in Zelda that we know so little about. The Fierce Deity Mask you get for getting all the other masks, going to the moon at the end of the game, and trading all those masks away, going through little mini dungeons. And you are not told much about Fierce Deity. You are told that it is essentially an ancient evil god that was an enemy of Majora, who's also an ancient evil god. Not all evil beings get along together. And so you take its power, essentially, and absolutely curb stomp Majora. You can also go back and fight other bosses with it that you've already beaten if you want. But you only get it at the end of the game, and then you curb stomp Majora with it. I want to know more about Fierce Deity. Fierce Deity is a very interesting character we barely hear about, and it is one of the darkest concepts in Zelda, that you are taking the power of a malevolent god and bending it to your will, especially since you're a 10-year-old child. Fierce Deity is only thing going above Bunnyhood, because it is so cool being so overpowered, and I really am into the lore. Getting absolutely emotionally demolished by some little kid's psychological questions. Fair. I usually tune those out now, but yeah, you do. It's not just some little kid, though. That's Majora. That little kid is Majora. That's the manifestation of Majora as a child, because Majora's behavior, you can see it in his fight. Majora is implied to have the maturity level of a child, but the powers of a god, which is not a good combination. So Majora is a little psychopath, and that is why it really messes with you to get the mask. Majora is also the one to give you the Fierce Deity form, meaning that Majora wanted to fight his enemy, rival, evil god. Doesn't sound as devastating coming from Majora. I mean, it kind of does when you kind of realize that is what Majora kind of is. A demented little child with god powers. Granted, it's infinitely old, but maturity-wise, it's like a child. Anyways, that's my tier list of the masks in Majora's Mask. There might be a couple of these that shift a little up or down, but for the most part, I'm more confident about my placements here.